Good evening, or good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're listening to this. This is...
Or watching.
Yes, or watching. This is the #1 pigskin podcast in the world. Okay, maybe Nebraska. Your basement for sure.
Maybe.
Okay, we're good there. We're good there. Derek's basement, #1 pigskin podcast. In Derek's basement. This is the Audible with my partner here, Derek Watson. Myself, Jake Williams.
You said that you couldn't remember my last name.
I did. I almost said Derek Williams. Because I love you like a brother. Alright, so this show, the Audible, is what we like to call it, is mostly a football show. That's our wheelhouse. But we will sprinkle in other sports here and there. And essentially what we're doing is we're taking the biggest topics to us, we're reading them, and we're sharing them with you, and we're talking about it, giving our opinions, giving our thoughts. So,
I'm just here to argue.
pretty much. And to just make me so angry. Alright. First word of the top. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a
word.
I'm trying to think of a fun thing to say for the news. Like the first down. I don't know. No, because that sounds like...
That's gay.
Yeah, I don't like that. So anyway, the news. First topic of discussion for the news. Let's just say that. That's probably
Okay.
better, right?
Topics. Whoa.
Whoa.
Revolutionary.
Changing. This is so dumb. First thing we want to talk about today is something that's really not that important to anybody else, but it's important to me because I am a Husker fan.
We're all Husker fans here.
That's true.
All
But I
four
was
of
born
us.
here, okay? Well, not here in Lincoln, but I was born in Nebraska. You just came
Sorry.
here. You chose here, so that makes you love it more.
Oh, kind of. No, I'm definitely full-blown Husker fan. Been here for 4 years now.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's talk about Nebraska. Let's talk about, in particular, their rivalry with Oklahoma. One of the biggest rivalries in college football in the 80s and 90s. It was always #1
Absolutely.
versus #2. Winner goes to the Rose Bowl. Big 8. That was in the Big 8 was huge. But it slowly died with the formation of the Big 12, and then it completely died, at least for the time being, when Nebraska went to the Big 10.
Which was awesome, for the most part.
It was a good choice for Nebraska.
Definitely good. They're doing a lot of good things on campus because of it, and we get to play Ohio State, which is awesome.
You can play Pac-12 teams like Oregon and Arizona.
Yeah, it's exciting.
But what the big thing is...
We did lose some rivalries along the way.
This first part's a little bit old news, but Nebraska has agreed to a home-and-home series with Oklahoma, the longtime rivals, in the years 2021 and 2022. But then it was announced yesterday, well, Wednesday, because we're recording on Thursday. Anyway, Wednesday.
Just say Wednesday.
Well, I'm letting them know, so they're prepared.
Okay.
I don't know. Because like I'm saying, in the season when we can't cover like Thursday night football games, they'll know why, because we're recording. But,
We could always record after the Thursday night football
that's
games.
true, too.
Like right, just immediately after, like be our tradition.
Remember how we said
So we
this
should
show...
just pretend like it's Friday when we're talking.
Yeah, because it is
to the
Friday
camera.
when they see it,
It's
or they
Friday,
hear it.
exactly. So yesterday is Thursday.
Remember how we thought this show was going to be super professional?
We're working on it.
We haven't even got through the smallest...
A lot of this is going to get cut out.
the smallest topic of the whole show. It's taken us
Oh, God.
forever. But yes, the years 2029 and 2030 are another home-and-home series between Nebraska and Oklahoma, which will be 4 meetings in a decade, which is pretty cool, considering you don't see Texas play Texas A&M anymore, and they kind of just ignore each other pretty much. They don't really talk about it. We're also playing Colorado again.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Playing a home-and-home series with Colorado,
Also,
along with
Arizona 2029.
I wonder what the Oregon game's going to be like this year.
We'll see. I mean, Oregon did have a pretty off year, and I do think Nebraska
Yeah, but Mike Riley
is on the
knows
rise towards the
Oregon.
end of the season, and we do have that advantage. Should be a good 2 years of games. I'm really excited to see that.
Keep in mind we're from Nebraska, so there will be a lot of Nebraska talk.
Yes.
That's kind of the whole reason we do this. So moving on to the next topic of discussion, we were going to talk about Russell Wilson going to school, but I don't care about that anymore. But I want to talk about you because you are a 49ers fan.
I am.
This is old news to anybody else, but I just want to get Derek's opinion on the 49ers hiring Chip Kelly as their new coach.
I'm excited. I've always been a pretty big fan of Chip Kelly. I think that he likes to win, and he likes to run a fun offense. I do hope that the 49ers aren't going to give him quite as much control as he had back with the Eagles, because ultimately I feel like that was his downfall. He was doing too much, and he got too risky, made some...
It's ESPN.
Just turn the volume off.
I know, but...
Computer. Had a good take there, and you just ruined it.
No, it was fine. They'll hear it. I'm trying to say
Anyways.
the next topic. I'm sorry.
Anyways.
I think it'll be good, because I think that is an offense that's suited perfectly for Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the reason why he was so bad this year is because he didn't have Harbaugh
coach,
there.
And he lost his team around him, and that's a big thing that Chip Kelly's going to have to do when he comes in there, is get that roster back up to where it used to be. It seems like everybody retired or got hurt or got traded to Oakland. So this 49ers team is a shell of what it was a few years ago, but, people forget that Colin Kaepernick could win. He
almost won a Super Bowl.
And he did have a really good team around him there, but if you go back and watch those games, he had a lot of plays where he was just doing it all on his own, running 70 yards in playoff games in one play. So
and he's really
I'm interested to see what Chip Kelly can do with him.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
He's going to have a coach, like I said, makes offenses for that kind of quarterback. And that's the kind of quarterback Chip Kelly really needs. Sam Bradford really doesn't fit in that kind of system. I'm sorry.
It really just makes sense. So, crossing my fingers, hoping it'll be a good year. I'm also really excited about Hugh Jackson, the new coach for the Browns, who are my number one team.
He's from Nevada, Ohio, all over the place. His favorite team is the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, my whole family's favorite team. We're all from Ohio. I was born in California, but my whole family have been Browns fans my whole life. 49ers were more of a middle school, high school. I lived in Reno, which is close to that area, and all my friends were Niners fans. Watched Kaepernick while he was at Nevada, and so once he went there, they became my other favorite team. But anyways, Hugh Jackson. I actually have hope for the Browns for the first time in my life.
I feel like they're doomed.
No, I really feel different about this one. I watched the press conference with Hugh Jackson 3 times because I was so excited about it. I think they got a lot of chemistry between management and ownership and the coach. He's going to be calling the plays. Yeah, it seems like they're going to be moving away from the nightmare that was Johnny Football.
It's probably their best choice.
Oh, absolutely.
But yeah, so he's passionate for Hugh Jackson.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
He's in love with...
Yeah, he's a great offensive mind.
Would you say...
Josh Gordon
would he make you say, I love Hugh?
Oh my god. I can get a shirt that says that.
Yes, and you have to wear it on this show.
I guess it's going to have to happen now. Once the season starts back up.
My new coach is named Dirk, so... Durka, something like that. So anyway, moving on. What the hell? This is what you get, folks. This is the product. All right, so moving on.
Well, this is week 1 of the product.
Yeah, we're working out the kinks.
It's going to be a bumpy start.
We're working it out.
Nobody's going to be listening for at least.
I think that's part of the show. I think that's part of the show's charm is our unbelievable chemistry. And to just
that only we're going to be listening to.
Yeah, exactly. And that. No.
And do you have any friends that are going to listen to this?
I don't have friends, Derek.
Yeah, my friends don't like sports, so.
I know. How
could
did that
just
happen?
be us. I don't know.
How did we just?
I don't know.
12-year-old me would be like.
Anyways, we got to move on.
What the hell happened? So anyway, moving on.
We're pretty slow to the beginning here. Let's get to the Bills.
Remember how we said the news would take us like 5 minutes?
The Bills and the big news as of Wednesday night. Ironically, I was actually in a women's studies class when my phone went off, and it said the Bills have hired the first special teams. I skipped female.
Oh man, feminists are gonna tear us apart.
This is gonna be edited. Yes, the Bills. Do you have the article up for this?
Yeah, the Buffalo Bills made history Wednesday by selecting Catherine Smith as the first female coach in the NFL, and her job is special teams and administrative assistant, I believe is what it says. But she's apparently qualified because she's been with Rex Ryan since the Jets. So who knows?
All right.
I think. Well, let's kind of open it up now. Because you talked about you heard about it in a women's study class. Right?
Well, I was just happened to be in a women's study
Oh,
class.
I thought they talked about
my
it.
My phone went off and it told me that. So I just thought that was kind of ironic.
Oh, I thought that was going to be like a discussion thing for the class.
I did mention it to my teacher. She didn't seem to care all that much.
But I think it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. First full-time female head coach. You know, the NFL, the Shield, it's kind of the manliest thing. Women definitely aren't very much in the league at any point.
A lot of women watch it, but not a lot of women coach. And it shouldn't be that, honestly, it really shouldn't be that weird or that big of a deal, because you see women coaches basketball for,
absolutely.
Women coach male sports all the time.
It's going to take a while for things to progress. I'm sure players have concerns. She's going to be in the locker room or anything like that. I'm sure there are things they got to work out. But, I just the country's moving forward. The NFL should be too.
Yeah. I just hope it's not a PR.
It's a good sign.
I hope it's not a PR move.
It does feel a little bit like that.
I hope.
I'll just say
she seems
it's
qualified, but
she's not the special teams coach. She's a special teams quality control coach. So it makes her sound like.
Wow, what is what is she in?
What is that?
I think that's a made up job title.
She's just making sure the kicking
they
tee
have
is okay.
Yeah, I guess. Well, either way, it's still.
I mean, it's a step forward.
It's a start.
It's not a big. Yeah, we need to get much farther than this. But
do you think there'll ever be a female head coach in the NFL?
I'm sure someday there will be, but it's going to take a while. I think it has to start at younger levels. Pee wee football. I'm sure there's a lot of female coaches starting there, but once you get to high school, college, you don't see them anywhere, and you kind of have to have that coaching experience to make it into the NFL, anyways.
And I think, having a female coach also has a different dynamic to it, So it's going to take time to get there.
I mean, it's going to take the right girl, just like it takes the right guy.
Well, just like it takes.
It has to be someone who's a leader.
It's like when girls play the sport. It's kind of like it's everybody doesn't know how to quite react quite yet. To
the situation. Takes adjusting
because it is different. I don't. I'll be.
It's not a woman-friendly league, right?
The first time. I think it'll be an amazing story. The first female offensive or defensive coordinator.
Oh yeah, once we get there.
If we get there, that'll be a huge step forward.
I think
we can go there.
Definitely something's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years.
How PC this country is, it's going to happen. And I have something to say about political correctness and another topic on this show that isn't football related, but it is still football related nonetheless. In a roundabout way. But we'll talk about that later. Next thing I want to talk about real quick, before we go on to the bigger discussions of the show, believe it or not, there are longer discussions in the show.
Such as Pee Wee football in Texas.
Oh, you will want to stick around for that. So, this article that you brought to my attention, and I found it on the, I think it's the Pittsburgh Post, is where I found it, on the website, the Post-Gazette. It's about Antoine Randall.
News from Tuesday.
This came in Tuesday. This is a guy that helped win a Super Bowl with this Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a great wide receiver, and he played...
only wide receiver to ever throw a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
That's because he played quarterback in college. He did both. He was a quarterback receiver. Very, very talented guy.
To himself, just throw it straight in the air and then go and catch him in the end zone.
But this article is kind of sad because this is talking to Randall. He threw the pass to Hines Ward.
Yeah.
This is Randall L. much later in his career. He's only 36, but he says, I have to come down sideways sometimes. He's talking about going down the stairs, depending on the day. He's 36 and he's saying this. Going up is easier, actually, than coming down. And then, so
basically...
It's sad, but he's banged up.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's get to the point. He's bashing on football. He's saying it's not going to be around in 25 years.
I want to say this quote real quick. To kind of go with this,
it's a war against football.
It is, but this kind of I understand kind of where he's coming from because he says the crazy thing is that Randall L. can feel his mind slipping too, and says, "quote I ask my wife things over and over again, and she's like, I just told you that." Randall L. said, "I'll ask her 3 times the night before and get up in the morning and forget. Stuff like that. I try to chalk it up to I'm busy, I'm doing a lot, but I have to be on my knees praying about it, asking God to allow me to not have these issues and living a long life. I want to see my kids raised up. I want to see my grandkids." End quote. So where he's coming from is the fear of Alzheimer's and dementia and all those things that happen with head injuries in football. And, like the movie Concussion coming out and all this stuff. People, more and more, like you said, are starting a war on it, and he's one of these guys. And
Yeah, absolutely. And I
He
do
started
think
to
that things need to be done in the NFL and on down below that, but especially NFL and college for helping protect players. I do feel like there should be and there will be advances in helmet construction in the future. Now that concussions are becoming such a big issue, I feel like we have the technology to get to the point where it's going to be a lot safer. And football is worth way too much to America. There's no way that we're going to be without it.
It's our
in
livelihood.
25 years. I think it's insane for him to say that.
It's our livelihood now.
I do feel for him. It is sad to see that he's feeling.
He's
this
36.
way.
He's losing his memory.
He's gone through all that.
Can't go up and down stairs. But that's the problem. Like he says in this article, he feels like there is no correcting it. There's no helmet. There's no pads. There's no technology out there to protect people.
That's ridiculous.
I don't know. There is a thing, but there's already been so many
people get car accidents, go over 100 miles an hour and survive.
Yeah, but that's what he's saying. They're going through a car wreck every week.
Yeah, well, minor car wreck.
As a player, maybe. I can understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, no, I understand his concern. I think fixing it is the solution, not getting rid of football. And I think he should be an advocate for that.
Because he says he believes it won't be around in the next 20 to 25 years.
Yeah.
He goes, that's because he thinks athletes are getting stronger and faster and they're going to hit harder and hurt each other more. And that also has, I imagine head injuries went up a lot because kids are getting stronger and faster.
Absolutely.
But again, like you're saying, we're as fast as
we're
strong.
Seeing a lot more on the news, so it definitely seems like a bigger problem.
There's more awareness,
if nothing else.
And the faster and as strong as these kids are is almost as fast and as strong as the technology is getting. So I think there is a way to help protect kids. Injuries are going to happen. Things are going to happen. It's just the sport. But
and
people need to keep in mind, too...
Teaching people how to hit the right way, that's a huge part
Keep in mind, too, that, it's completely 100% involuntary. You do not have to play football.
Mm-hmm.
You can just be like us two schlubs and talk about it. Like you do play. Okay, so that's enough for our little small topics of news. Now we're going to move on to something that's going to take a long time. Bear with us. Now keep in mind, we will spoil this season of this show, but it happened 2 years ago, so it's already been, almost 3 years ago. So it's been spoiled for you already. But we're going to talk about this show
that you should watch.
That you should very much watch. It's called Friday Night Tykes. Originally on the Esquire channel, but now I watch it on Netflix because I'm cheap. Holy cow, I did not
cheap, you're poor.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
A little bit. They don't need to know that. Now, I did not expect to like this show. Holy cow, I like this show a lot more than I wanted to.
Yeah, it's like the toddlers and tiaras with boys.
Yeah, but it's better because it's football.
Pee-wee 8 to 9-year-old football in San Antonio, Texas, and they found 5 of the best teams and followed around the whole season. And
it's particularly set in San Antonio because it is a statewide thing. But like he said, the best teams are in San Antonio.
Yeah, apparently
they always win the championships. But it's fun to watch because these are 8 and 9-year-olds, but they're acting like it's college NFL level football.
Well, and it's filmed like it's college NFL.
Yeah, I know.
The production value of the show is amazing.
It's amazing. Like it's so epic. Every game and every moment is just cranked up to 11. Like I was talking to you when we were watching it the other night. There was a normal practice speech. But with the music in the background and the dun dun dun, it just seemed so much more epic.
Well, I'm sure anyone watching it that hasn't been part of a football team where the coach is giving you a nice pep talk at the end of practice.
That's
really
exactly.
Made it seem like it was
that's
crazy.
how you envision it in your head when you're in the huddle. Like what you see on the show is how you envision it in your head.
Exactly.
Like very epic
music
and
playing,
melodramatic.
Everything's so serious, even though you're 8 years old. And 10 years from now, you probably won't even remember what your record was back then.
Yeah, but you'll have that trophy.
It's life.
You'll have that trophy. But that's the thing. And then there was controversy with the show, obviously, because everything's a controversy nowadays, because people hate everything. About the show, about how, like, the way the kids, it was violent. It was excessively violent, as football is. Like, everybody knows that. But in one particular was the junior Broncos coach. I can't remember his name. It was Charles something.
Chavarria?
Yeah.
Chavarria.
Guys like that are a problem.
Yeah. No,
that was taking it too far.
Just to catch everybody up here, basically his wife and kids left him because he was too serious about coaching Pee Wee football.
And his kids are...
Kids weren't on the team.
His kids aren't... Yeah, and they're old enough to be in, like, high school. Well, one of them, at the very least, be in middle school, and the other one in high school. Like, he can't make sacrifices for those kids, but he can for these. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so...
It's weird.
So it was pretty sad to watch him. He also wasn't a very good coach, in my opinion.
No.
His team wasn't very good.
No. And he took things way too far. I mean, like... I believe in the typical football jargon of, like, you know, we're gonna rip his head off, we're gonna beat their heads in, stuff like that. That's football. That's.
Mm-hmm.
But telling a kid to earhole the other guy with the crown of your helmet, and you're telling him, I don't care if you get up, it's too far.
Yeah, no,
he's
telling his own players that he doesn't care if they get up. Like,
yeah,
it's not even talking about the opponent.
The first game of the year, he got an intentional offsides penalty.
Oh, yeah, the first play at the nose guard.
That's such a dirty play.
Ram the center before the play. Yep, no, that guy does not belong in youth sports. He doesn't belong in sports, and he should
he got suspended for that. He broke the code of conduct, so he's...
Spoiler.
Well, it's not on the... That's not a spoiler. People know that from, like...
What? They didn't... I'm talking about in the show. How do you know that?
I watched part of the retrospective thing. Well, it's not that great. I just wanted to see if you guys...
You should have told me that.
I'm sorry. I saw it.
To interrupt my take to say something like that.
I'm just telling you guys suspended, and so you should be happy that he doesn't...
Yeah, I am, absolutely. I mean, he should never be let back. I hope it's a pretty serious suspension. But, more importantly, he needs to just take a look in the mirror and evaluate his life. Because... I'm all about football, especially,
and
I love Pee Wee football too, but...
And being competitive, but...
Take it a little farther. Don't throw away your life for that.
Think about your kid. He's in high school. Shouldn't you be trying to help him and coach him?
His team sucked anyways.
They were
just accept it, coach.
Hey, they were 500.
Yeah, it's bad.
Okay, so...
The record was better
moving
than
on to our... Who... I know who your favorite team is. But they don't know who your favorite team was. So tell them who your favorite team was.
The Northeast Colts.
It's all about the youth.
Yeah,
Thaddeon Lott. That kid.
Oh my God.
He's
going to the NFL someday. I hope he goes to the Browns.
But, yeah, the Colts and the Outlaws are my two favorites just because I love the personality of the coaches.
Yeah, well, tell them about the Outlaws coaches. I'll tell them about the Colts.
Oh, well, my favorite team is the Outlaws. So... The Outlaws, I love the Outlaws coaches because of their mentality. To me, they coach the game it should be played. Whenever there was a helmet-to-helmet, any kind of contact in practice, they did a lap. Like, they made everybody do laps. So, like, we don't want to do that, we don't do that. Everybody perceived them as the bad guy, but they were really not bad at all.
Yeah, just because they hit hard,
They're just violent.
They were a little intimidating at first, or in the first episode.
Their
they show how the coach just doesn't blow a whistle when they're hitting each other and they're allowed to fight on the ground for a few extra seconds. It comes off a little rough at first.
See, but I like that, though.
But really, yeah, they're teaching their kids to be tough, and they're learning how to avoid injuries and get stronger, get used to hitting important things.
He says, like, specifically he said, wrap him up and drive him. And then he goes, then after that, I don't care what you do. So he's just kind of like, yeah, you're right. It seems a little rough, but it's okay to fight. Teams fight in practice all the time. NFL teams fight constantly.
As long as it's a controlled fight.
As long as you can break them up.
We're not letting them go.
Yeah.
Crazy.
They're swinging helmets and whatnot.
If they're fighting, within the drill, too, and that's mostly what they were doing. No, they just...
And I like them because they're aggressive, they're tough, they're a little cocky, but they're not overly cocky. They're confident in what they do. And they should be, because they were the best team of that show. I mean, the Colts
The Colts were amazing, too.
Was a very, very good football team, but that's how much better the Outlaws were, because they beat them by double digits both times, Yeah,
the Outlaws almost went the entire season without getting scored on until they played the Colts.
Did you see how mad they were when they got scored on, or when a team got past the 50?
Crying.
Like, if a team got past the 50, the coaches were irate.
That was a failure to them.
And that's awesome. If you have a defensive mind that says, I don't even give him 10 yards, I don't even give him anywhere near 50, that's awesome. And you need a coach like that, because that's how you play defense. You shouldn't want to be like, oh, it's okay, we'll give up a huge gain. So, that's why I like the Outlaws.
And on the other hand, the coaches for the Colts, I'd say, were more like, they were your buddies. They were just out there to have fun with you, but they knew what they were doing. They made sure everyone was going to work. They didn't cut corners. everyone does their job.
knew
Let's
when
go
to
have
get
fun.
serious.
Let's go win. Yep. I thought, it was cool, and I love Jay Boogie, probably my favorite player in that team.
Because he has good parents.
Huge lineman, really great parents, but he missed the first, week or two because he was on vacation or he was out with his family. And when he came in, first day in pads, coach made him run literally the entire practice. Just kept going to the bushes and back, to the sign and back.
He stuck with it, too.
And he did it the whole time. He did not give up. He cried on the way home, but he didn't do it on the field.
Don't do it in practice.
And that shows his character and shows how much the players in that team really care about the team, that he'd be willing to do something like that. You know, when I was 9 years old, I might have left. I might have walked off the field.
They were great.
Screw you, coach.
They were great coaches. He did swear a lot, though.
Yeah, he did swear a little too much.
What was his name? Something Goodlow. I can't remember. I'm trying to Google the GM of the Junior Broncos, because I got beef with that woman. And here's why. The show opens. The first episode, it's introduction to the team, right? So they show her as the GM, and she's bringing her son Colby, and they move down to Texas. And she says, we moved down so he can play sports and he can understand the concept of...
Well, I think they're already in Texas. They were moving from...
I think
they were moving from, Pop Warner to TYF.
You're right. I kept thinking they were moving from another state. You're right. Yeah. So anyway, they start playing this, and she says, we're just kind of sick of these participation trophies, and I don't think that's the right way.
And everybody gets to play.
She didn't like that. But... She says that first episode, by the end of the season, she makes sure she manipulates the coach into getting participation trophies for all the players.
Into getting every player in the game. Well, in the second episode, her son sucked. Let's be honest, he was terrible.
Yeah,
he was crying a lot. He was that kid on the team that. I know we're talking about 8, 9-year-olds, but we all remember when we were young and playing. There was always the kid that just was no good, and that was him. And they're very competitive coaches. And he didn't get to play in the first couple games, and so she was crying to the coach, saying everyone should get to play, blah blah blah. And
maybe she thought he was doing something wrong.
One episode earlier, she said that's why we came to this league.
Yeah, I know exactly. And then by halfway to the end of the season,
it's competitive. Go back to Pop Warner.
Exactly. Maybe that's the thing. Okay, I'm sorry. I might make some people mad here, but you need to accept the fact that there's going to be better kids than your kid sometimes, and your kid is not good enough.
Not my kids.
You know what
I have kids.
But exactly. Don't do that mentality. But you know what I mean. You got to accept that fact. I know when I played, there were people better than me, and I know there will always be people that are going to be one step above. So just get over it and just don't lie.
Well, yeah, and if if it's not what your kid loves, or if he's not that good at it, or if he's not having a good time, this was obviously, this football league was for the more competitive teams, whereas I'm sure there are other leagues. I'm sure Pop Warner's down there because I'm pretty sure it started in Texas. So there are other ways you can go. Yeah. She chose this league. She wanted to play with the best, but yeah, and she was also just super annoying.
She was a momager, so she called herself.
Manipulating the coach.
Yeah.
Not that I like the coach either, but man, that
the Junior Broncos is probably my least favorite team.
Yeah, me too.
That's unfortunate because those kids.
The Rockets, I wasn't a huge fan of either, but that was probably just their president.
That's unfortunate because those people give that team a bad reputation because those kids are all great. I think all the kids.
Yeah, can't blame any of the kids.
No,
these teams.
No. So what were some of your favorite moments from season 1?
Anytime Tavion Lott had the ball.
I love
and the Outlaws were just fun to watch, too.
It's always fun to watch.
All of their players could score on any play. I mean, the center probably could have scored if he wanted to.
Their defense is ridiculously good.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch them.
I honestly think if I had a time machine and I took my high school team against those Pee Wee players, I swear some of them could outrun the guys on my team.
Tavion Lott, he was the fifth in the 200 meter in the whole country for his age group. I mean,
he's got these kids have college level speed. It's crazy.
He's faster than me. He was getting up at 5:30 in the morning to train with a track coach.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even me in my prime wouldn't stand a chance. Because even me in my prime is fat and lazy. So one of my favorite characters was the mom, and I can't remember her name. One of the players' moms for the Outlaws. I loved her.
The crazy woman?
Yeah, because she was so
God. She
batty.
wasn't in the last few episodes.
Yeah, they probably took her off the show, yeah.
Oh my, she was crazy.
She's so annoying and so loud and stupid.
So
She was
annoying.
like
Openly calling her son the N-word on television. Come on. She was trash.
And she
taunting the opponent's fans.
She was a stereotypical trashy reality show character that you would throw in.
It was unreal. Well, and I feel bad for her kid. She would actually, if they were doing sprints in practice, she would stand about 5 yards away from all the players and run alongside her son.
Mm-hmm.
If they were running plays, she'd be on the sideline, like getting in position, doing stuff. Like, the woman was insane.
And that bothers me with parents like that. Okay, push your kid, motivate your kid, that's fine, but let just like step back a little bit.
Yeah, no. Let him go.
You can't do that when they get a job.
Well, and
in the future,
and if the kid missed a tackle in practice, she'd just yell out like "terrible," blah blah blah, like so negative, so bad.
Positive reinforcement, Derek.
Oh, absolutely.
That's what we're all about.
Like Jay Boogie's parents.
I love those guys.
I wish they were my parents.
I hope they're in season 2.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if the next season's gonna be like the same team.
One of my favorite moments
if
too.
If they switch it up every year.
I don't know.
Guess we'll find out.
My favorite character. One of my favorite moments, was when there was a rematch between the Colts and the Outlaws. Before we even get to that, can we talk about how epic those confrontations were with those two? They were both undefeated, last game of the year. So intense.
I'm glad they ended up playing the last game of the year. That worked out pretty well.
Yeah, they're cool.
That was
the show
games.
built it up.
Even though the Outlaws ended up winning outright both times, they were still definitely the most entertaining games of the season. I would think.
And I think the Colts played a lot better than the score in both those games.
Yeah, I agree. Had some miscues, but in the Outlaws, they're that good, unstoppable.
They won the state championship for a reason. Undefeated Outlaws. So, I would wear an Outlaws t-shirt. I'm not even gonna lie to you. That's how much I like the show.
Yeah, I actually want a Colts shirt with the U logo, but with the blue and the white.
But anyway, one of my favorite moments, though, before we move on, do we predict season 2? My favorite moment was Jay Boogie's mom in the rematch between the Colts and the Outlaws when she tries to start. And I don't know why. This seemed like it took
that was great.
It was probably like a minute, not even, but it felt so long with that camera just stuck on her. And she's like,
"What was she saying?
Touchdown! We need to touch something like that."
Yeah.
And like she's going and she keeps going and then she just stops because nobody else joined in.
And the camera was just right on her.
And that was
it was
so awkward.
It was funny that they included it.
So, what do you think is going to happen in season 2?
Yeah, I don't know the format. I'm assuming they're going to follow the same teams.
Yeah.
I hope.
I think so. I think it's going to be the same teams. I think it's not. You know what? We can't really predict it. It's not really fair to predict it.
Yeah, well, it's going to be new teams. I'm just hoping for Colts and Outlaws to both go undefeated and
rematch. Dude, Colts got to win one. Well, apparently they did the year before the show. Because
the Colts beat the Outlaws
the
in
year
the playoffs
before the show.
the year before. Yep.
Couldn't do it this year. So overall, what we're saying is Friday Night Tykes. Both seasons. The third season is currently airing right now on the Esquire channel. But seasons 1 and 2 are on Netflix. Check that show out. If you like, you don't even need to like sports. If you like crazy drama involving children, watch Friday Night Tykes.
If you like football.
Well, I mean, you don't even have to like football.
Yeah, I mean, you don't, but
if you like
football, you'll like this.
If you like football, it's hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, now we're going to move on to something that's a little sad. Because college football is over. It ended.
Oh, man.
As we record this 10 days ago. So, let's talk about the season. Let's talk about 2015.
Can't wait till August, man. The saddest time of the year.
Particularly, I want to talk about who you think the best teams in each conference were. Okay, so it could
keep in mind I didn't follow closely all the conferences.
Yeah, we're mostly going to be following Big Ten because that's where we are. We're in Big Ten country, but I still keep up with the Big 12.
Yeah. Well, no, and as we keep going, I'll definitely.
Yeah, I think so. So let's go alphabetically. Matter of fact, I'll pull up the records for you. See what you think. For the ACC, we'll start alphabetically. Of course, the champion and the best team, obviously, Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson. I mean,
I
so
think
much to talk about.
I think Florida State is still a good team. I think they need some pieces though. They don't really have a quarterback. Davin Cook is a beast, and I think clearly the best team is Clemson. I think Clemson.
Deshaun Watson,
was as good as everybody. They should have got more respect. That's what I'm trying to say. Because they impressed me.
They should have won the championship.
They played with so much heart and so much character. I fell in love with Dabo Swinney this year. And I'll be the first to admit I was one of those guys that didn't believe that Clemson would ever get over the hump. I never believed that Clemson would be a playoff contender or even be anywhere near the national championship. And they surprised me. They crushed a very good Oklahoma team by 20 points.
God. Yeah, a team that was averaging, 51 points a game. They held them to 0 points in the second half.
37 to 17.
Impressive.
They were head-to-head with Alabama. They should have won that game. They could have won that game.
I really wish they would have.
They would have just covered a kick better. But yeah, clearly Clemson's the best team.
They definitely got a future.
I think North Carolina is a surprise of the year to me. They had the new coach coming in. I don't know his name. But they were a very bad call away from possibly derailing Clemson's championship dreams. Like, they were that good.
Close.
And they were that close. So I think they are definitely worth talking about. So, moving on alphabetically, the Big Ten would come before the Big 12. Right.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Let's go with numbers.
I mean, we could say
Let's talk about the
Big
Big Ten.
for the end.
You can say it. Now, people can say.
Or no.
What?
Just talk over me.
What were you saying?
I say we could save them for the end, since that's when we know the best.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
go to the Huskers.
So Big 12, I think the clear cut. Now, you could say, well, you could just name off the champions of each conference. I don't think that necessarily tells the story to me. And I think some teams should get more recognition. I think if TCU is healthy, I think they would have won the Big 12. They almost beat Oklahoma with the backup quarterback.
They almost lost to Minnesota earlier in the year.
Yeah, but how many close calls? How many close calls did Ohio State have?
Yeah, well, that's true, and you know what
they were one field goal away from being in the playoff. So
I watched TCU this season, and I wasn't overwhelmingly impressed by them.
Yeah,
compared to some of the other teams.
Well, I think they started to show the chink in their armor when Oklahoma State beat them by 20 points.
Yeah.
But they beat Baylor. And that's another team. I'm sorry, but I am glad Baylor didn't get anywhere near a playoff this year. Because I'm sick of Art Briles complaining about it last year. I'm sick of hearing about it.
I'm just sick of the Big 12.
Look, you got a team in there this year. It didn't work out, did it? That's just how it goes. I'm sorry. You got what you deserve, Baylor. I'm never going to get anybody from... There goes all our Baylor listeners. All those Waco
none
fans.
of them.
All 0 of them. But yeah, I think what Oklahoma did in the last 4 games of the season was impressive. With the way they played. Unfortunately, they didn't show up against Clemson. Well, they did. Clemson's just that good. I just spent how long saying that Clemson is good. And then I was like, oh, well, Oklahoma didn't show up. Yes, they did. They got the rest of this game.
Yeah. Clemson was just
Clemson dominated them. Yeah. I think... Do you think this is Charlie Strong's last season if he doesn't make a bowl game for Texas?
This upcoming season?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is his first or second?
This is his second.
This is his second, then probably.
One of those losses this year.
It's it's a lot like Nebraska there, they expect a lot and they expect it pretty fast,
Texas.
There were people this year talking about firing Mike Riley for Nebraska
after one season,
after 3 weeks.
after the BYU
I'm sure there's been a lot of talk. Another season under 500, it definitely is going to help him. And coming into his 3rd year from a recruiting standpoint, the guys that he's been recruiting are now going to be the guys stepping up. So he better. Yeah, he definitely needs to make a bowl game, but I think he needs to do more than that.
At the very least, he needs to make a bowl game.
I think that at some point in the season he needs to be ranked.
He has to beat Oklahoma again for sure.
Yeah, so
you're right. He needs to. You want to say bowl game, but I don't think that's good enough. I agree with you. I think he has to win 9 or 10 games this year.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to say. To save your job, you have to win 9 games, but...
You know, Bo Pelini won 9
Yeah,
games, still couldn't keep his job. Ooh.
Tom, come back.
Oh, he's old. Come on.
I want that walking corpse on our side. I'm kidding.
Whoa, yeah. Crossing a line there.
I'm kidding.
We're going to lose our Nebraska
I'm kidding.
listener.
It's a joke. I love Tom Osborne. I'm just saying he's very old.
No, yeah, absolutely. But, you know, we'll get to the Huskers. You know,
Yes.
we gotta stop doing that.
We'll get there.
Sorry.
We'll get there. So we talked about the Big 12. We'll say the Big 10 Nebraska to the end. I think the Pac-12 had a very disappointing year. Sorry. Just trying to clear. I should grab some water. They're fine.
Yeah,
They could be a playoff team.
Yeah, no, Stanford, they should have been a playoff team. They should have won that game. And you know what? Christian McCaffrey should have won the
Heisman. Look, Derrick Henry, great.
A lot of respect for Derrick Henry. I think he's a really hard worker. He's a very, very talented back. But, you know, I saw there was an ESPN list that ranked him the 30th best player in college football this year. 30th. And he won the award for the best player.
What was his name? Kevin? Is it Colin or Kevin?
Christian McCaffrey?
Christian, I'm way off. Yeah.
Christian, okay.
Do you have his numbers?
Yeah, Christian, yeah, I've got it over
Okay,
here.
I was going to bring that up.
Christian McCaffrey's stats for the season. 2,019 yards with an average of 6 yards per carry, as long as 70, 8 touchdowns, 45 receptions for 645 yards.
6 yards a carry. 6.6 yards a carry.
Oh, yes, and 645 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns that way. So let's see, and that makes his overall yardage this year 2,664 yards. That's crazy.
That's nuts.
And if you watch him play, he is that good.
Barry Sanders' record. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I mean, he is no joke.
He's no slouch. And you know, I agree with you 100%. He should have won. The problem is because he plays in that conference.
Well, yeah, he plays in the West Coast.
They play extremely late. A game in the East Coast that would be, 7 o'clock is 10 o'clock there. Because it's a
3-hour difference.
It'd be 9 o'clock here in Central Time.
Yeah, if they had a 7 o'clock game. Well, yeah. And in the West Coast, a lot of times they like to play games later, too. They'll have games at 7, 8, or sometimes even later.
Oh, yeah. I've seen a game be on at 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And that's unfair because he was
the way the voting works.
You know what? Go back and watch the Rose Bowl. He scores on the very first play from scrimmage and has a punt. He broke 3 Rose Bowl records. And his first ever appearance in the freaking Rose Bowl.
As a sophomore.
That's craziness.
Oh, man.
And he didn't win okay, I understand it's after the season. This is why I think the Heisman and all that should be presented after the national championship. Because to me, you don't see the bet. Sometimes.
But then I see what you're saying there, but I like kind of the national championship to the end, and then also you can have the Heisman winner in the national championship. And that's more intrigue.
I get that.
It.
It's like having the MVP in the Super Bowl.
And I think it's a regular season.
But as great as Derrick Henry's game in the national championship was, put that up against McCaffrey's Rose Bowl. There's still no
even
comparison.
Though Iowa definitely not as good as Clemson.
No,
defensively.
No.
But no, I see what you're saying, and I agree and disagree with you about that. I just feel like it's a regular season award. I just think that they need to vote on it differently. I mean, you have beat reporters from the Southeast and the Northeast and the Midwest that don't watch West Coast football. Yeah. They don't care about Pac-12 or Stanford.
It shouldn't be a problem in an age of Twitter and Facebook and all this social media. This should be.
It's because they're having people vote on it whose job isn't to cover all sports. You know.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're there
us.
to cover Alabama and Alabama only, then you're probably going to pay attention to the SEC and maybe a little bit elsewhere. But you're not going to be objectively looking at all the conferences.
Yeah.
You know, if we were voting for the Heisman, I'm sure Tommy Armstrong would have gotten a vote. Jordan Westerkamp.
Lisa Bolitnikoff for Westerkamp. He didn't have that great of numbers, but he was a great player. He's a great player. Wesley Stash.
Love you.
I do love you. Right. Hey, you live in Lincoln. If you want to come on the show, or any other of your Nebraska football players.
That's not too desperate.
Send them on over to the Audible. So, Pac-12. USC, all that drama. We got to talk about Sark and all his drama. I feel incredibly bad for that guy. He had his dream job, and maybe it was just too much.
He's an alcoholic.
I know.
Yeah, he went to rehab, didn't he?
He's getting help for it.
Yeah, he is.
It's still sad.
It's sad.
He lost his family.
It definitely is.
Was at the Junior Broncos coach, but actually somewhat successful.
Couldn't handle LA, I guess.
Oh, come on. If you move to LA and you're like, oh, coach one of the most popular teams in college football, you wouldn't get trapped? No, I'm kidding. I would take it very seriously, USC. Call me.
Can you stop doing that?
You gotta cheat to the camera, dude. Because then people see your face. And they're like, he looks good.
You're like, wow, he's a dweeb.
I am a dweeb.
Anyways.
But I'm your friend. So, moving on. I guess we said what we needed to say. But, then Utah disappointed me. Because they looked so good when they destroyed Oregon early in September. And then I looked too much at it.
Then Oregon kind of fell off.
They didn't do that bad. They blew a 31-point lead. But, I mean... They
weren't Oregon, you know?
They weren't... No, they were good, but they weren't
that's
Oregon good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll find out this year if they're still like that or not. Because we played them this year.
Yep.
It's in Lincoln this year, isn't it?
I believe so.
Oh.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
In Advance.
Yeah, next year's in Eugene. We should go to both.
I have friends that live in Portland.
It's a few hours from Eugene. We can make that work.
We could see if we could stay there and then go.
Yeah, well, we'd probably want to stay in Eugene the night of the game. But
well, I'm just saying, I know people in Oregon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe they could help us out. Why are we talking about it?
Get back to the show.
Back to the show.
Alright.
I think this is what people will like, is
how weird we are?
Our weird ramblings about going to football games. But yes, we should go. Moving on from the Pac-12. SEC. They win another friggin' championship. As if they don't have enough. As if they don't have enough. I'm going to be honest with you.
They grow bigger down there.
I'm going to be honest with you. This year's New Year's 6 was disappointing. Sorry, didn't hit the table. And just depressing. And not fun. This year's 2016's New Year's 6 was not fun.
Oh, man. That was awful.
I don't like... And another thing, the ratings dropped drastically for the playoff games than they did the year before because they, for whatever reason, thought it was smart to put it on New Year's Eve and not New Year's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it on New Year's Day. That's when the most people are going to watch.
Yeah, it makes the most sense that way. New Year's Eve, all day, I was preparing for the night.
Yeah, everybody's going to...
So I was busy, trying to watch football as much as I could, but I had to work in the morning and then had to get ready for a party at night.
Everybody's going to go out and want to be social on New Year's Eve, and then they're going to want to come back home and recover from the night before and watch football. And that's the thing, too, is like the Oklahoma-Clemson game, very entertaining first half, very good first half, dropped off drastically in the second half. The Alabama-Michigan State game was a snooze fest because what the heck happened to Michigan State?
Oh my God, where did they go?
I don't know what, I thought this was the year. I believed that Michigan State was going to do it this year. I thought,
yeah, once they made it to the playoffs, I was
after that win over
2-0 for the Big Ten.
After that win over, the win over Ohio State and the win over Iowa in the Big Ten championship, I thought this was it. I thought, and that's the problem. I like Mark D'Antonio so much. I just want him to win a championship. And it just sucks. And of course, outside of Alabama, nobody wants Alabama to win. Let's be honest. Because it's all jealousy outside.
I mean, I'm sure the SEC, some of the other teams still wanted them to win. I hate Michigan State, but I wanted them to win.
Well, the South, they're going to root for Alabama. Unless you're an Auburn fan. You will never root for Alabama.
No. That's just wrong.
No.
That's how I feel about Wisconsin.
Exactly. Sorry, Wisconsin listeners, but we don't.
I'm not sorry. You're awful. I've served your type before.
Dang.
They're disgusting people.
You're
disgusting people. You're a Wisconsin fan.
He's speaking from the cuffs, man, from the heart. That's experience. He's dealt. What the hell is that? Is that a dog?
I don't know what that was.
You guys are disgusting people. But yeah, he's right, though.
Yeah, we are not an
We're gonna get that
show. Just so
yeah,
you
we're
know.
very much Nebraska fans, and we're going to get that damn trophy from you.
The Freedom Trophy.
Yeah. That's another thing I love about the Big Ten is every game is important enough to have a friggin' trophy in
Yeah,
it.
don't we have the most trophies?
I think so. I know Nebraska itself plays for 2. Well, let's just go down a list, Eric, of what I know off the top of my head. There's the Heroes Game trophy that Nebraska plays for. There's the Freedom Trophy that Nebraska plays for. There's the Paul Bunyan Trophy that Michigan and Michigan State play for. I don't know if they still play for it. But
Okay, I got all the...
Paul Bunyan's axe
Got 'em all
between
over
Minnesota and Wisconsin. Let's see if I can get them. See how many I can get. The Little Brown Jug between Michigan and Minnesota. Floyd of Rosedale between Iowa and Minnesota. It's a statue of a pig. Illabuck, which is a trophy that's the mixture of like an Indian Buckeye thing. Okay, Illabuck.
There's 18, so you're not even halfway there.
Are you serious?
18.
Okay, I'm trying to. Okay.
And Nebraska's only involved in
2.
2 of them.
Yeah.
No, wait, no, 3.
Oh, this counts too, I guess. The Cy-Hawk Trophy between Iowa and Iowa State, even though Iowa State is a Big 12 school.
I wasn't counting those in the 18. Those are the conference rivalries.
My God,
Including
okay.
non-conference, there's another, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's another 17. So all in all, there's 35. But just within the conference,
there's 18 in the conference, but oh my goodness.
And then another 17 outside. So
Okay, give me what I
yeah,
missed.
Nebraska within the conferences, the Iowa, Nebraska, Minnesota, Nebraska, Wisconsin. So
Minnesota.
the Heroes
They count.
Trophy,
They count the
$5
broken
bits
chair.
of broken chair trophy.
They count that now.
Yeah,
That's a real thing?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, according to Wikipedia, it started in 1990.
I guess they
It's been around for a
discontinued.
while. No, that doesn't make sense. The Freedom Trophy hasn't been around since 1901. These years are wrong.
No, the Freedom Trophy's been around for 2 years now.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's okay?
But anyway,
so
those
are the ones I got. What are we missing? Because I got
I'll just go through all of them.
I got
so
8.
we got Illinois Northwestern, the Land of Lincoln Trophy.
Land of Lincoln.
Illinois Ohio State, the Illabuck. Illinois Purdue, the Purdue Cannon.
Damn it.
Indiana Michigan State, the Old Brass
Old
Spittoon.
Oaken Bucket too. I missed that
That's
one.
Indiana Purdue, the
Yeah.
Old Oaken Bucket. Iowa Minnesota, the Floyd of Rosedale. Iowa Nebraska, the Heroes Trophy. Iowa Wisconsin, the Heartland Trophy. Then there's a couple on here that are just rivalries that don't have trophies. So Maryland Penn State doesn't have a trophy.
Well, that's
Michigan
just-
Ohio State doesn't have one, and then Ohio State Penn State doesn't have one.
I'm surprised Michigan Ohio State doesn't have one.
Yeah, that's
As big as that
pretty
game
crazy.
is.
It's one of the biggest games of the year in all sports. Michigan State Penn
Derek Stogg is
State
joining
is the
us.
Land Grant Trophy. Michigan State is the Paul Bunyan Trophy. Michigan Minnesota the Little Brown Jug. I went to the Nebraska ones. Minnesota Penn State Governor's Victory Bell. Minnesota Wisconsin Paul Bunyan's X. And that's all the in conference. I'm not reading.
No, we're done.
Because it's ridiculous.
We're done. I don't know how that relates to anything we're talking about, but that's just insane.
It's about sports.
It's related to the Big Ten and how Michigan State
Sports.
and how Michigan State hurt the conference in the playoffs. Because if they
You
miss
know,
that
everyone's
field
going to be
goal-
talking about the Big Ten again when it's, they're down and out.
Yeah.
If we don't win it all,
after they.
we're still counted out.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But yeah, if they miss that field goal, then I'd think Ohio State beats Alabama again.
Yeah.
I think
they
they're
would,
Alabama's
too. And that would have
kryptonite.
been an incredible rematch.
The Ohio State Buckeyes are the New York Giants to the Alabama's New England Patriots. You know what I mean?
That's a good analogy. I like
That's
it.
what I think it is going to be. She just wants to be with us. Stop whining. I'm going to pick up on the audio. So, Big Ten, what did you think of it for the season overall? Even though we talked about the
Nebraska
trophies.
would have won.
Yeah, I think it wasn't that great of a year. I mean,
It
we had
wasn't.
10 teams go to bowl games out of the 14, which is impressive.
Right, that's,
2 of them were 5-7 though,
Yeah.
with Minnesota
and they
Nebraska.
both won.
They both won. All the 5-7 teams won.
Yeah.
So don't blame us. Blame the system. Okay.
There are too many bowl games. Let's be real.
Yeah, exactly. Don't have 18,000 bowl games and maybe.
I mean, I don't know. At the same time, though, can you have too much football?
No, you can't.
You can't.
And
You
that's
can't
why-
have too much football.
That's why we're doing the podcast because you can't have enough.
Yeah, we also need a few more playoff games.
I'd say 6 teams. No, 8 teams.
8 teams.
Power
6
5.
would be in the right direction.
Power 5 conferences, and then you have 3 at large.
Mm-hmm. I guess the thing that people have against that, and I know we're veering away from topic here, but whatever.
This is related to this is reviewing the last season still.
I think the problem people are going to have with going to the 8-team format that we like to talk about, where we have the 5 champions of the Power 5 conferences and then 3 other teams, is that there's no longer the committee picking the 4 best teams. They're going to take away that suspense because it's just whoever wins the championships will be locked in.
Yeah,
People argue that, well, what
it's
if...
kind of like the BCS.
What if there are 3 of the best teams in one conference, So it's a pretty big leap. With that being said, it's still what I want.
Yeah, it's...
I still think that would be the best way to do it, in my opinion, because every conference would be in the playoffs, every Power 5 conference, the ones that matter in football. No disrespect to the other conferences, but... if you have, ACC, Big 10, Big 12, SEC, and the Pac-12 all represented, then you have fans from each one of those regions watching the games, rather than just, 3 or 4 of them being counted. So I think viewership would go up. We get an extra week or 2 of football.
Everybody has this way, everybody has a horse in a race.
Everybody's got a chance.
Because
and
the Pac-12
from the
got
smaller
left
conferences, then you have 3 spots that you can try to hit, and you don't have to worry about trying to beat the champions from all the other conferences.
Yeah, maybe a Mountain West champion or the Conference USA champion sneaks in. Like a Houston. What if a team like Houston could sneak in there or something like that? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. So
you could have a Villanova thing where that
that's
one...
definitely what I want to happen,
The 1-8 seed.
I definitely have no say in it, and I really don't think it's going to happen.
No, well, I think they'll stick with 4 teams for a while. I mean, look how long it took them to change for the BCS.
It's going to be at least 10 years before we get 2 more games out of them, and that would probably be the next step.
It's still
6 games.
fine. Don't get me wrong. The New Year's 6 is still fun, and I love it, and it gave me New Year's back, and I love that. That's great. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I just think you could take that New Year's 6 and make it more impactful, because outside of the 2 playoff games, yes, you got to those New Year's days, and they're prestigious, but it's just like, why does it even matter if I'm not in a semifinal game? You know what I mean? It's still an honor to be in the Rose Bowl, but it's not the same as playing for another game to be in the championship.
Exactly.
But that's just whatever. So let's do a quick evaluation of Nebraska, get some quick predictions, and then we'll move on, because we still haven't even gotten to the topic of the show, and we're an hour in.
Well, these are all topics of the show. We just haven't gotten to the NFL yet.
The main... Well, we're going to save that for the end anyway. So, what did you think of Nebraska's season? We can all agree it was disappointing.
It was disappointing, but...
Ended on a positive note.
Could have been a hell of a lot worse,
Mm-hmm.
Record-wise, yeah, it was terrible, and there were definitely some big glaring issues, especially with our defense and our quarterback decision-making, which we'll get to Tommy in a minute, because that's a whole nother thing. But I do think that we showed a lot of fight, and we showed a lot of life. We lost 5 games by less than 30 seconds or whatever.
Last offensive play.
Yeah, 4 games in the last offensive play of the other team, I'm pretty sure.
No, it was 5 of the 7 losses.
Oh my God, it's sickening to think about.
6 of them, 6 of them were less than 10 points.
Yeah, it feels like, we were just on the wrong side of luck this season. You can't blame it all on luck, because there was a lot of things we could have done better, but man, we were that close.
Nebraska,
each week.
They were so close to being 10-2.
But you know what? Mike Riley's first year, and...
They'll work the kinks out. I think if the bowl game is any indication...
Both sides of the ball, we're still getting used to the new playbooks. Not all the players are going to agree with having a new coaching staff. A lot of them still wish that Bo was there. So there's a lot of tension. There's a lot of things getting in the way. But I think that we showed that we still have a lot of fight. And I think next year we're going to come out. Some of the negativity in the locker room is going to be gone. I think that we're going to have, everyone's going to have a shot to play. Patrick O'Brien coming in, I think he's going to make a splash and possibly even go for the starting QB position. I don't know. I'd like to hear what you think about that. If you think he's got a chance, if you think Tommy should start or not.
I don't think he has. I think
there's a lot of things to look forward to.
I think he has a chance, but I don't. It's going to be hard for him to get that position over time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And
much as you want to say about Tommy, he is a competitor.
Yeah, he is, and he's a leader, and a lot of his teammates do follow him, which is really important to think about. It's not just about the X's and O's and your statistics. It's about how you get along with the players, how you can lead them to winning games, and how much drive you have. Which when it comes to that stuff, Tommy's the best. There's no one better, a leader or a fighter than he is. He's just not the best quarterback all the time.
4 interceptions against Iowa.
Yeah, he
could have won that game. They didn't get a first down. They did get a first down. Sorry, they didn't convert a third down. Is what I meant to say.
Yeah, no,
we outgained them in every aspect of the game.
He single-handedly lost us that game. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So I do think, in my opinion,
he did say that on Twitter. If you're gonna blame anybody, blame me. Trust me, I already have.
I don't think the coaches will
Just kidding, Tom.
will ever come out and say this or admit to this, but I think that Tommy will end up starting, and I think they're looking more in the long haul. If we got Patrick O'Brien as a red shirt,
well, this year is the senior year for Tommy, so yeah, I think right, yeah,
it's a senior year. I'm saying with Patrick O'Brien coming in,
he's the future.
I think they should redshirt him this year.
Mm-hmm.
Let Tommy play. Let him finish his career out with his teammates. With Westerkamp, they're roommates. That would be really hard to get Westerkamp on board if his roommate and his best friend just got benched to a freshman. I think it would hurt the team chemistry too much. So they're gonna think forward to the future. Redshirt Patrick O'Brien, get him ready to come out next season as a redshirt freshman and just set the world on fire. I hope.
I mean,
it's just it's gonna be hard for Riley to do that because they gotta win soon.
Tommy's weird because Tommy
he's the best and the worst.
I don't hate him. I don't understand people that hate.
I definitely don't hate him. There are times where
sometimes
he's
I
my
wish
favorite player.
Yeah, I know, but he's so weird because he's so athletic and he's so good that he's weird because he doesn't stay in the pocket. He's not comfortable. He's much more comfortable moving around and doing things like that. I think the offense we ran in the bowl game is going to be the offense of the future, and I think
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, Riley himself said he was going to consider.
No, wait, I think that
pound the ball, use our size.
I mean, we might see a little bit more running, especially if we can get a good running back that we can rely on. Which I didn't. I liked the running backs we had this season, but none of them were good enough to carry a team or to pound forward. I think they might run more, but we're not going to see games like that next season, just because that's not who these coaches are. I think what they were doing was saying, hey, this is, it's been a disappointing season, and we got one game left, and we really want to go out on a good note with these fans so we don't have bad publicity for the next 8 months.
Maybe.
I think that was
don't want to be the first team
giving the fans what they wanted, and realizing that also that was UCLA's biggest weakness the entire season. When they lost, it was because the other team was running 50 to 60 times against them. So, I mean, I think that we'll see more running in the future, but I don't think people should get their hopes up that it's going to be, run first, second, and third down every game. I think that'd be ridiculous, and I also think it would get boring. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think it's going to happen because you can't change who a coach is.
I don't know.
They're
I think play calling needs to. Here's my thing on play calling. I'm not a coach at this level, obviously. I'm just a dude with a podcast. But even I can see at home the problem in our play calling. And I don't think...
I disagree.
We were throwing at times we shouldn't. We were doing things...
No, but that was Tommy.
I understand.
He was throwing on plays that were designed to be runs. I mean... And they were also picking the plays that statistically had worked the best. They were the smartest plays to get what they needed.
Good on the stat sheet doesn't mess a lot of them all.
No, the plays that they had that had worked in those games for them in those situations. The thing was, we couldn't run the ball.
Yeah, the Illinois game was Tommy's fault. The Illinois game was his fault because he shouldn't have thrown that pass.
The Miami game
shouldn't have thrown that.
That's his fault.
Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, in the bowl game in particular, when we had them where we wanted them, with around 5 minutes to go, and we're throwing the ball on second down instead of running it. If you run it, then throw on third down. We were going away from things that worked. It didn't seem like we needed to go away from them at times.
Yeah,
at times.
I don't think we have the best play call in the game. I just definitely don't think that was our problem this year. I think
point is,
the defense was definitely the much bigger problem for us.
Looking on to 2016, and I think
it's beautiful.
I think it's going to be a good year.
You smell the national championship?
I want that every year. And that's another thing I want to point out to people that say I'm crazy when I say that. When I want a championship every year for my team. If you don't want your team to win a championship every year they play, you're not a fan. Quit kidding yourself. Come on. Can you believe that?
Where is the national championship next
You're
year?
a Browns fan and you still want the Browns. You expect the Browns to win a Super Bowl every year because you're a fan and you expect that.
I want it real bad.
It's probably never going to happen, but you got to believe it. I'm saying it.
At least once before I die.
I'm telling you, last year, Derek is going to be on his deathbed watching the Super Bowl when the Browns win, and they're going to kick the game-winning field goal, and then boom, he's going to die because then he doesn't need to live anymore because the Cleveland Browns won a Super Bowl. And I'll be there holding your hand, buddy.
You better be. No, they're going to win before that.
One can hope. So moving on, we're done with college football. We're done with Husker football.
Oh, awesome. Week. It's in Phoenix.
Championship game?
Yeah, next year.
Ooh, Arizona. So moving on from college football.
Wait, wasn't it in Phoenix this year?
I think
it was.
I would say it would be in Pasadena next year. It was in Phoenix this year.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, because I'm looking at it.
It's in Glendale, anyway.
2017 day. Where is it? 2018? 2016?
Why are you looking at it?
I want to know where we're going.
We gotta move on, Derek.
Oscars.
We gotta move on.
No, this doesn't make sense, though.
Derek will figure it out later.
Because it says 2015, 2016, 2018.
2017 won't exist.
It's in there.
So anyway, moving on. Ready?
Yeah.
We're moving on.
Yeah, let's move on.
This got brought up to me from Derek. Do you have the article? Do you want to read it, or do you want me to read it?
Which one?
The basketball one. Because I have it right here. I can read it.
Yeah, go for it.
So anyway, this isn't football related, but this is something.
Oh, the Wisconsin stories. Okay.
We wanted to talk about because we thought it was fun. We thought it was interesting and kind of sad. So Wisconsin.
Very stupid.
Yeah, very stupid. So this article says that I got from thedailycaller.com. It says, the IWAA, which controls high school sports in Wisconsin, released an email in December outlining words that cannot be spoken at sporting events. The list, according to the Press-Crescent, includes, you can't say these words, Derek. You can't say fundamentals, sieve.
Fundamentals.
Nope, you're out. Sieve, can't say that.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't either. You can't say we can't hear you. We can't hear you. That's eliminated. Sorry, audio listeners. You can't say airball. You can't say you can't do that on a foul. You can't say there's a net there, scoreboard, or season's over when a team loses in the tournament. So basically,
this is wrong.
What the
IWAA
says is you can't have fun at basketball games. Because why else?
That's supposed to be part of the game. Is having your home crowd behind you, backing you up, and people come into your stadium, people come into your arena. You know,
come into your
they
house.
should be scared. This is the 6th man or the 12th man.
Yeah.
Like they're there to intimidate the other team and to cheer you on. And this is just ridiculous.
Otherwise, why
we're
have
getting
home
way
games?
too soft on these kids. I mean, come on.
It all goes back to like
you gotta let him know if he threw an air ball, he should know that everyone saw him throw that air ball. We
all saw it.
In his head.
And we got humiliated. So, this started.
It's one of the great parts of high school sports.
It really is. So this story has garnered national attention after student athlete April Gill, I imagine, told the IWAA to quote eat shit for its rules, and then they promptly suspended her for 5 games. It says in all caps on her Twitter. I might follow her for that. That's kind of cool.
You got a lot of followers now.
How old is she?
She's in high school.
Well, I don't want it to seem creepy that old...
Well, you're making it... It wasn't creepy until you just... Yeah, it would be kind
It'd be creepy if I followed Ariana Grande, would it not? Well, she's 20.
Yeah, I think she's just older than us. 22 or 23.
It's my age.
Anyways, don't follow her. That's weird.
I'm not gonna follow her.
I like in this article they have a picture of a bunch of nuns at some sort of sporting event.
And then it
Under the
says,
new rules, a crowd behaving in acceptable fashion at a Wisconsin high school basketball
he's
game.
an ESPN commentator. Jay Bilas? I don't know.
Whatever.
So then later in the article it says the IWAA Director of Communications.
WIAA.
Did I say WAA? WIAA Director of Communications Todd Clark told local CBS News channel 3000, quote, "I think the challenge is even with the parents and talk to the parents and to student-based fans is that. You know there's a wide spectrum of that, and at some point there's a line," end quote. And then,
I think there's a line if you're personally attacking players.
or if you're using profanity.
Racial slurs.
Yeah,
you
something
know,
like that.
Of course there's a line, but...
Airball?
You can't do that? I mean, we're just letting him know. Obviously, he doesn't know that he can't do that.
Well, yeah, clearly he got the foul. He needs to know it's not okay. Like, this is stupid. This is ridiculous. Like, but it goes back to, like, how politically correct America is getting, where we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. I'm like, it's sports. You're supposed to demean the other person. Mm-hmm. That's the point of it. It's you succeeding and then having your fans. You don't have to talk to trash. The fans do. That's the point of sports.
Exactly.
But then Paul Ackley, athletic director at McFarland High School in Wisconsin, actually agrees with the IWAA.
WIAA.
Why do I keep saying IW? Am I dyslexic? WIAA. He also told Channel 3000, quote, "If a kid gets an answer wrong on the whiteboard, there's not going to start chanting, 'You can't do that,' end quote." Ackley, and then the article finishes.
That's dumb.
The last line of the article is brilliant. He goes, "Ackley must have forgotten the decision to participate in sports is voluntary, while school is not."
Very true.
You gotta have tough skin when you're playing sports. That's just
we're raising our kids to be soft,
and even
with rules like this. But you know what? It is Wisconsin.
Of course.
I mean, out of all the
David
places to do
Hookstead.
it would either be Wisconsin or Iowa. So
David Hookstead wrote that fine article, the Daily Caller. Thank you, Dave. But yeah, I agree. It's just more to it's. We have to make sure nobody gets their feelings hurt and coddle them, and yeah, you're just raising them to be soft. It's just silly stuff. So moving on.
Let's just move on to the NFL playoff.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, we already talked about that other part.
All right, so are you excited?
The topic,
third biggest weekend in football of the year.
Of the show.
Maybe fourth, if not New Year's 6th. I don't know. It depends if you like college football or the NFL more.
If you're an NFL fan, this is the second biggest.
Championship week.
Here it is, baby. Championship.
AFC. One step closer to the Super Bowl.
NFC. The 4 best teams in the league battling out for the final 2 spots.
I think I'm more excited for this week than I will be for the Super Bowl.
Probably. I would probably.
Because I think we got 2 fantastic games. I think either of these games are going to be better than the Super Bowl ends up being. Although, I am really excited for that too. But, we got
New England.
Brady Manning, part
17,
17, yeah. And then...
Cam versus Carson.
And two quarterbacks here that have shown that they're very good, but just haven't, gotten the chance to win it all.
Yeah.
And
this is finally a chance to break through that glass ceiling and get to the promised land. The fun thing about the Cam versus Carson, which is really crazy about that game, is this is the first time ever that 2 Heisman Trophy quarterbacks have played against each other in the playoffs.
I didn't know that.
Which, of all the years,
that's crazy.
Isn't that nuts? That's just that's unheard of. It's crazy to me, but I don't know. I like Cam's confidence. I, for one, don't understand why everybody hates him. Like, this year, everybody is coming out. When you're good,
people divide into 2 categories when a team that's not normally great is all of a sudden great, which they have been fantastic. They've been so good this whole season. Yeah. Either people bandwagon or people anti-bandwagon, where they're like, I'm not bandwagoning with these people, and then they start getting negative taste.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just support a team that's on the rise because you respect their players. You're either a bandwagon fan or you're someone that's against
like
it. That's kind of where.
And you and I are in the middle with Carolina. Exactly.
Yeah, well, I've always liked and respected Cam. When there were a couple of years where the Cam Kaepernick rivalry was starting to be a thing, and I thought that was great. And yeah, I've wanted success for them. I'm pretty excited for them this season, and personally, they're who I want to win the Super Bowl. I don't think it's going to happen.
Think New England's going to win?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Or, honestly, if it came down to it and it was Denver and Carolina in the Super Bowl, I think it would be a good game. I think Carolina might win, but I would actually really want
Peyton
Denver
would have
to
to win one.
Peyton's got to go out on a Super Bowl.
He's got to win at least 2.
He's so close.
He's got to at least tie Eli.
And we're all expecting him to retire, right? Like,
he'll probably. I think he said
should.
He said he had another season or 2 in him, and I don't.
He's doing too much to himself.
Peyton, I like you too much to let you slowly die a painful death in the league. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
don't Brett Favre us either.
Yeah,
Don't leave and come back
3 times. Yeah, 5. All those times. Just don't do that. But, back to what I was saying about Cam Newton, though. You're right. It is 2 sides. It's anti-bandwagon or bandwagon. You love them, you hate them. And then, but you're seeing it, and I'm not calling out any form of journalist, because I'm not a journalist at all. Any form of journalism. But sometimes I see...
Journalism? We're journalists.
Well, I don't have a degree in journalism. These guys do. But there are some articles and some news sites that I feel like that are intentionally trying to cause problems because of Cam. You know what I mean? Like, trying to make stories out of him by anything he does. And I guess that's...
And a lot of them are good, and then some of them...
Some are just ridiculous. You're like, come on. Like, what do you have to say that? And it comes from that spectrum. And I'm like, can we just all be can some people just be okay to say, like, you and I, we're neutral, we're in the middle? We're like, it's good for them that they're doing well, and I don't dislike them. Why should I dislike a team that actually is good? And my hatred for the New England Patriots relaxed a lot over the years. I mean, I still don't like them, but I'm not...
Love the Patriots.
I still respect what they can do,
even
though they cheat.
So
I mean...
Oh my God! Don't even. They're not cheaters more than anyone else in the NFL. They're just big, and people like to look for it there. Did you hear about the stuff that they've done?
Did you hear about the Chiefs then? Their headsets weren't working. Like, Kansas City's headsets weren't working properly.
And someone turned off the power in their hotel the night before.
And of course, there was somebody to throw the conspiracy theory that they're dirty and they're cheating.
Yeah, whatever.
And
they're good.
When I saw that, honestly, when I saw that article, I'm like, oh, come on, guys.
But yeah, I was thinking about it. I think the reason why I don't have to hate them, and a lot of people do, is because the Patriots go out and they beat everyone. They've got a winning record against, I think, every team except for maybe one under Belichick and Brady.
Haven't they beaten every team under those 2?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have, and they have a winning record against almost. There might be one team that they haven't beaten more than they lost to, but anyways, it's probably the Giants.
I'm telling you, man.
Being a Browns fan, everybody beats us. So, like, I'm not going to be mad about
I'm the same way, too. Everybody beats Tampa. Everybody beats Tampa. I mean,
you have a Super Bowl in your memory, though.
I have at least one in my lifetime. I don't know if it's going to happen.
And Brady was playing back then, too. So, he's the team. I think that's a big reason why he gets so much animosity. But I love the guy. I think people are jealous.
It's the same.
He's living the life, man.
It's the same thing as Cam.
He's got a bunch of money. He's probably in the conversation top 3, if not the number 1 quarterback of all time. The biggest role in the biggest sport in the world.
This might be a stretch.
Well, at least the country.
This might be a stretch, but I'm going to throw out another analogy for you. Tom Brady is to the NFL what John Cena is to the WWE. It divides the fan base in half. And no matter what either of those guys do, they get a reaction.
Oh, yeah.
They could be taking out the trash, and it would get a reaction.
I like your analogy. It makes a lot of sense.
I'm gonna try to fit that in every show.
All right, so let's get to our actual predictions.
Let's finish this up here. We're about an hour and a half in. But one more thing I want to point out is this isn't really any kind of like storyline or anything, but it is what as we were talking about it, I thought about it. This is a rare game where you have 2 games where you have 4 quarterbacks and 2 of them are guys that work hard. And I'm not saying the other 2 don't work hard and do what they do, but you have these 2 hard blue collar kind of quarterbacks in Carson and Peyton, right?
Mm.
And then the flip side, you have Cam Newton and Tom Brady, that no matter what they do, they
Big
get a
names,
visceral reaction,
big
and people
personalities.
talk about them. And yes, he does the dab and stuff. Who cares if he does an end zone dance? Who cares? Don't let him in the end zone, and he won't dance.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about this Carolina team is they've got swagger. They're excited. They're having fun.
They
out
believe
there.
in themselves.
You know, a lot of like 85 Bears, the Super Bowl Shuffle. You know, they're having a good time. They run out and kicking people's asses.
They're having
a great time doing it. They were
Whipping
dancing.
ass,
And, you know, people thought they were cocky, and they probably had a lot of people that didn't like them. And I think Carolina is very similar to that team.
And exactly. People mistake confidence for cockiness too much, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And I do feel like
And having
Carolina's
fun.
a little
And having
cocky,
fun.
but they're having, yeah, you're right. They're having
You're allowed
fun.
to be cocky. If you win 15 games in the regular
If
season,
you start the year 14-0, I think
you're allowed to be cocky.
he's also the first quarterback to have a college and a pro team go 14-0.
Oh, that's
Not random
fun fact.
stuff for Cam Newton. So actual predictions, like you said. So
Yeah, let's get to it.
I'm thinking you take the Patriots over the Broncos in Mile High.
I don't know. I've been going back and forth about this a lot. Peyton's won the last 3 meetings.
It's random.
The home team's always won when they've played against each other in the playoffs. And Peyton's defense is, that good. At the same time, you got Belichick on the other side and Tom Brady. I think I'm going to go with the Patriots here. But it's going to be close, 20-17.
20-17, Patriots over Broncos. Now, personally, I think, I don't know. I'm weird. I think Denver has been.
By the way, the Patriots are projected to win by 3.5, and same with the Panthers. And the over-under is 44 for the Patriots-Broncos game, 48 for the Cardinals-Panthers game. So pretty similar here.
Pretty close.
Definitely meant to be close games.
I think I'm gonna take Denver, and that's only because it's in Mile High. I think Manning is gonna play a lot better than he has. I think it's important to him to play well in this game because he just got back to playing.
It feels like destiny. I'm not gonna. It really feels.
It feels like he's finally gonna do it.
It feels like
He's been out.
meant to happen.
He's been injured. I think this.
I just don't know if he can do it.
They would imagine that storybook ending if he beats Brady again. And then he goes and wins the Super Bowl, and then he announces his retirement. That'd be perfect.
Yeah. Or if he announces his retirement the day before this game, that would be crazy.
Insane.
If it comes out Saturday and says,
I know
what happens is my last season, and then goes in, it'd be crazy. I don't know that he can do it, and it's weird to say this about Manning Brady game, but I think it's going to be more of a defensive game. Which whoever has the best defense is going to be the team who wins here.
Which would be New England. New England has better defense.
That's ridiculous. I disagree completely. The Broncos' defense has been the number 1 defense all year, and they will continue to do that, I think.
I think it's their defense.
But Tom Brady, at the same time, is, I think, more powerful right now than
I think Denver's defense
Manning's going
and
to be.
The fact that it's a home game, I think, will be the deciding factor in the AFC Championship. So I have Denver winning. I would say probably the same score. I would say 2017 Denver.
Okay, we'll see about that.
All right, so now we're moving on.
Cardinals-Panthers.
The Arizona Cardinals at the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, Carolina's
Who we
winning.
got? Carolina,
Definitely.
hands down.
Close
game.
I have a lot of respect for the Cardinals, and I think Larry Fitzgerald has been nothing short of ridiculous, especially in that last game. And you feel that they want it, but at the same time, I think that if you watch that the game against Green Bay, I think
Green Bay beat themselves more than Arizona.
Well, no, I mean Arizona, I think should have because of that reason. I think the Cardinals should have been much farther ahead than they were. They missed a lot of opportunities.
They played sloppy in the fourth quarter.
Interceptions in the end zone.
I'm sorry.
I don't think that they're going to Carolina and beating them, playing the way they've been playing. Carolina just won 31-0 against the Seahawks last week. The Seahawks were a very hot team at the time. I mean, people were thinking that the Seahawks had a chance to go in there and win. 31-0 in 2 quarters. Now, granted, if we get the second half Panthers...
24, and it was 20. They got to score 24-0. Granted, they won, but they didn't score any points in the second half.
Yes.
Carolina, yeah.
Yeah, 31. No, not 24.
No, I said they got outscored 24-0 because...
in the second half.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and if they come out playing like that, then it's going to be a different story, but I don't think that they will. I think that they just got a little too relaxed because they were winning. They were playing very safe. They're not going to do that this week. I think that they're going to win, I'd say 35-24.
I can't predict By the way, I'm better at predicting the NFC because my team is in the NFC. I can't figure out the AFC. And I've been so off on the I picked 2 different teams. Because first I picked Cincinnati.
We're doing the NFC right now.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
I'm making a point. I picked 2 teams in the AFC. The Bengals, they lose first round. So then I was like, all right, I'm going to think the Steelers are going to do it in Mile High. Get a Super Bowl 43 rematch between the Steelers-Cardinals. Doesn't happen. So then I'm like, wait, what a minute.
Okay, you didn't actually think that was going to happen, though, you know.
No, I didn't. But then I'm thinking, but then this weekend comes to mind. I'm thinking, you know what's going to happen? It's going to be a Super Bowl 39 rematch between the Panthers and Patriots. I don't see it. I think I know how to pick this. I picked them. Been riding this all the way. I'm going Cardinals, beating the Panthers in an upset on a last-second field goal, 38-35, I think. Because neither of these teams... Arizona plays good defense, but Carolina does not. In parts. I mean, I don't understand. But
what do you consider good?
I can't. Well, no, you're right. Denver's defense is the best defense. You're right. But I'm just saying Carolina's defense has been inconsistent throughout the year. And I think the teams like the Giants showed...
I think you're crazy.
I think teams like the Giants showed, who had a good quarterback and receiver combination, i.e. Beckham and Manning, you take that, and granted, Palmer and Fitzgerald aren't quite the same as those two, but I think that combination is going to give fits for that defense, and I think it's a cut. And here's the thing too.
I disagree with you so much on this. The Panthers are the second best defense behind Denver, in my opinion. From what I've seen this season, Luke Kuechly is amazing.
I don't see it. I'm telling you.
All right, so
it's going to be the upset.
You got Broncos, Panthers.
You got Broncos, Cardinals. You have
Panthers.
Patriots.
Okay.
So here's what I want to say before we close the show and finish doing what we're doing. I want to say that it's going to be a comeback too. It's going to be a comeback victory. They're going to go down by a lot of points, and Carolina's going to do what they did against Seattle and what they did against.
It's going to be another Fitzgerald play.
It's going to be
the game.
Come back. Get them in position, kick the game-winning field goal, 38-35. We have Broncos, Cardinals, first time ever Super Bowl matchup. And that's our show. No.
So wrong.
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out Sunday. Find out. Smart enough.
Oh, by the way, the national championship next year is in Tampa Bay, by the way, so we'll go down to Florida.
I love Tampa. My uncle lives in Tampa. So anyway, thank you so much for watching or listening to the Audible with Derek and Jake. This is our first episode.
Sorry it sucked.
So that's why it's very long and took us forever to get on point. But you know what? First episode, work out the kinks. Alright?
Yeah, we'll be more prepared next week. I promise.
So follow me on Twitter @lumberjake. You can follow Derek on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle? People, they want our fans to follow.
I'll make a new Twitter account for this.
Why are you so worried?
I don't want them following my personal Twitter.
Why? Maybe they want to see what you're doing.
I don't know what I want you to do.
That's how you go.
We'll have it for you next week. She's thought of that before.
I figured that's how you do this. Fine. Don't follow me. Follow me.
How you do this stuff is you have a Twitter for your show.
We'll make a Twitter. We'll make it. Next week there will be a Twitter handle for this show. That's how you talk to Derek, because he's not cool enough to let people follow his personal Twitter. So anyway, Derek, got anything? Any final thoughts? No. Oh, thank God. Thank you so much, and make sure to like this on whatever. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Like and comment on it on
SoundCloud. Show your family.
SoundCloud. Share it with everybody.
Had your wives.
Share it with people. That's the best way they're going to know about this. Because we're idiots and thought, hey, let's start a football podcast in January. Late January.
I mean, to me, it just means we got 7 months to practice before it really matters.
Exactly.
See you next time.